Hello, 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 everyone. How are you all this evening? This is Sherry Jones of Sherry Speaks Life. I'm an author and inspirational speaker, and I come on every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Speak Life Moment Show. And I am so excited to be with you all this evening to share a word. And our message today is just say no. The theme actually for the month of July is creating boundaries. And it is based on day 5 of my devotional, Speak Life Moments, a Transformational Journey. So it is a 21-day devotional where I share 21 moments in my life that taught me how to speak life to myself and my circumstances. And in day 5, I shared the lesson I learned about boundaries. And it was a tough lesson to learn. I'm telling you, okay? It was a tough lesson to learn, but it was a necessary lesson to learn. So I thank everyone for coming on and listening today. And so, again, the topic is just say no. And I know that may be the opposite of what some people are used to because we're used to in church, they're always telling us, say yes to the Lord, say yes to the Lord, to what he wants you to do for your will, for his will, for your purpose, for your plan. But today we're talking about saying no. And we're not talking about saying no to the Lord, but we're talking about saying no to people, creating boundaries. Okay. And the only way that one of the ways that you can create boundaries is learning how to say no. I know that's hard, especially for women, because we're just so used to giving and nurturing and being the ones to take care of everybody. We put ourselves last, dead last. I can testify to that. And so sometimes it's hard to say no because we feel like we're obligated, like we have to say yes. We have to take care of everybody else. If we don't do it, no one else is going to do it. No one else can replace us. We have to be super women. And that is so not true. You can say no. Okay. And I see Karen. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. If anyone else is joining on Facebook, I won't be able to see your name unless you leave me a comment. So if you leave me a comment, then I can shout you out. Okay. And so again, just say no. So the first point that I want to make is that no is a complete sentence. No explanation needed. And I know you're saying, well, Sherry, no, I can't just tell somebody no. How can I just tell somebody no? You can. You can say no, and you do not have to explain yourself. A lot of times we just get so bogged down in the explanation. We feel like we have to tell them why we're saying no so they won't be mad at us, so they'll understand where we're coming from. But a lot of times that just gets you caught up in situations that you don't want to be caught up in because you say no, then you start explaining yourself, and then they start knocking down all of your explanation. So, for example, if I say, no, I don't want to go to the store. Well, I don't want to go to the store because I don't want to be exposed to COVID. That sounds reasonable, right? Somebody could come and say, well, if you put your mask on, you won't be exposed to COVID. If you keep your social distance, you won't be exposed to COVID. Now, while all of those things are true, my real reason for not wanting to go to the store is probably because I don't feel like it, because I don't have anything to buy from the store. I just want to relax. But instead of saying that, I say I don't want to be exposed to COVID, which leaves me open to someone coming and knocking out all of my explanations and saying there's no reason why you can't go to the store because what you're saying about COVID is not so. Just say no. Sherry, do you want to go to the store? No. You see how simple that is? You see how simple that is. But we make that so hard. We make that so hard. Let's see, we have a comment here. It says, oh, yes, you can. And don't let it make you feel guilty either. You can do it nice. That's right. That is so right. You can say no. Don't let people make you feel guilty. Do it in a nice way. Just like my example. I didn't have to go into all that explanation about I don't want to go because I don't want to be exposed to COVID, or I don't want to go because I just don't feel like it. They asked the question, do you want to go to the store? No, I don't want to go to the store right now. That's all it takes. So we have to remember that saying no is a complete sentence. No explanation needed. We don't need to explain ourselves. We just need to answer the question that's asked. And if our answer is no, that's all that's needed. I see on Instagram, Norfie has joined. Hi, Norfie. Thank you so much for tuning in. And so that's my first point. No is a complete sentence. No explanation needed. So next time someone asks you, do you want to do something and you don't want to do it, just say no. And don't come up with all these excuses and reasons and all of that to try to justify why you're saying no. Why does your no have to be justified? Our yes doesn't have to be justified. If they ask us to do something and we say yes, we don't have to justify saying yes. So we don't have to justify saying no. You do not need to justify your no. You don't have to come up with excuses and explanations. Just say no. Okay. So no is a complete sentence. My second point, if no is the answer, it doesn't matter who's asking. I know that's a hard one, right? If your answer is no, it doesn't matter if your mom's asking, if your dad's asking, if your best friend's asking, or if a stranger on the street is asking. If your answer is no, then it's just no. And that's really hard because sometimes it's hard for us to say no to family and friends. It's harder to say no to your family and friends than it is to say to maybe a coworker or a stranger on the street. If your family or friends ask you to do something, you feel like you have to do it. You feel like it's just your obligation. And if you don't do it, then you're not being a good friend, or you're not being a good, mom or spouse or cousin or sibling, whatever you are. We feel like saying no makes us bad. And who taught us that? Where did we learn that from? That saying no is bad. Saying no is not bad. It's another comment. It says, even the Bible says, let your no be no and your yes be yes. The word is telling us, let your no be no and your yes be yes. So does it matter who we're talking to? If it's telling us that our no is no and our yes is yes, then it doesn't matter who we're talking to. And why is no seen as a bad thing? Every situation in life does not call for a yes. There are situations in our lives that call for a no. And it's okay if we say no. And we have to stand by our no, no matter who's asking. So, for example, and I know sometimes emergency things happen, I understand that. But this is one thing I'm going to be transparent here that I have to learn is about having office hours, set hours that I'm working on certain things. And so if someone asks me to do something outside of those hours, unless it's an emergency, unless it's something, my answer should be no. Right? And it doesn't matter who's asking me. If I set those hours and if I set those boundaries for myself, and I know that I have something that I need to do, I have a deadline or something that I need to meet, then it doesn't matter who's asking me, whether it's a friend or family member. The answer is no. I see we have a so true agreement with that. The answer is no. The answer is no. So don't get caught up in, I can't say no to my family. I can't say no to grandma. Because if I say no to grandma, it's going to hurt her feelings. It's okay. If saying no, if no is your answer, because no is what's best for you, then you can't feel bad about how someone else is feeling about you saying no. That's just too much energy. I can only be concerned with myself and what I'm saying and what I'm doing. I can't start being concerned with how other people are going to react to what I'm saying and what I'm doing. I mean, that's just too much energy. It's enough energy just to focus on me and what I want to do or what, what's best for me, as opposed to second guessing my answers and like, okay, well, if I say yes, which this is what we do, if I say yes to grandma, but it's going to put me behind what I have to do, and then I'm going to miss this deadline, or I'm going to miss this opportunity. I can do it for her, but I just can't do it for her right now. But it's grandma. So let me go ahead and do it, even though it's going to have this effect, this domino effect on everything else that I have going on. Because if I say no to grandma, then she's going to be upset with me and her feelings are going to be hurt. Let's weigh it. Is it worse for grandma to be upset with you and her feelings be hurt, or for you to have this domino effect, miss all of this stuff, opportunities and things that you have going on that could be a detriment to you and what in your goals? You're not saying no, never, but maybe now is not the right time. And so we have to be able to do that. Okay. Then we have a comment here. I had to learn, even in the body of Christ, to say no to certain things without explaining myself. That is so true, because the church is infamous for it. If the pastor asks you to do something, you feel obligated because the pastor asked you to do it. If you are on the usher board and the head usher asks you to do it, you feel obligated to do it. If you're on the choir and the choir director asks you to do it, or even just a fellow choir member, you feel obligated to do it. And you feel that if you say no, you're a bad Christian or you're a bad church member. No does not equal bad. Now, if it's something that you can do, and you're just not wanting to do it because you're lazy or whatever, that's another thing. If honestly your answer is no, because there's more pressing matters or there's something that you have to get done and you're just not able to do it, but instead of stressing yourself out, worrying yourself, and just having fits, you know, you say yes and you do it anyway, and you end up stressed out and everything. And it's all unnecessary because all you have to do is say no. So that is a very good point. I mean, because church folks are infamous for it. They will make you feel bad if you say no. No is not a bad word, people. Say no. It doesn't matter who's asking, whether it's your church member, your pastor, your grandma and them, your mama and them, whoever. You got to stand to your guns. If no is your answer, then no is your answer. And then my third point is say no to anything. I mean, anything that's dangerous to your mental, physical, or emotional health. If saying yes to something is going to disrupt your peace, then say no. If saying yes to something is going to put you in physical danger, say no. If saying yes to something is going to put you in emotional distress, say no. But a lot of times we say yes to things, even things that are going to be detrimental to us, even things that are dangerous to us, because we are afraid to say no. That's where peer pressure comes from. Remember when you were in elementary school and or maybe high school, and you know your friends was like, come on, let's ditch class. Now you knew who your parents were and you knew your parents weren't having it, and you knew you were going to get in trouble. You knew that it was going to go on your school record and it might hinder some of your goals with going to college, or you know, things that you had going on. But because of that peer pressure, because you were afraid to say no, then you say yes to that thing. And then you get in trouble. And then maybe your friends don't get in trouble, because maybe their parents not going to get on them like your parents will. Maybe they're not going to get grounded, but you are. But we do stuff anyway because we feel so much pressure from other people that if we don't do it, then there's something wrong with us. I mean, we can't do that. We have to say no. Okay, so it says, missed something that my sons were involved in and had a long term, and had to ask my friends to forgive me. And see the comment here. So you missed something that your sons were involved in, and then you had to ask them to forgive you. Sometimes we do. We have to ask for forgiveness if we miss something that's important, because we were afraid not to say no to something else that wasn't as important. And we do that. We get our priorities mixed up. And we're afraid to say no to one thing, but we end up harming something else. And I see that's right. The comment, that's right. And then wisdom will teach you to say no. That is true. Wisdom will teach you to say no. So we have to be mindful of that. So even if it is a situation where you end up, making the wrong choice, you say yes to something that you shouldn't have said yes to, don't be afraid to go back and apologize to someone. And again, as the comment says, wisdom will teach you to say no. The older you get and the wiser you get, the more you'll be able to say no. Because you have to protect yourself. You have to protect your mind. You have to protect your peace. You have to protect your heart, your spirit. So y'all, we can't be out there just saying yes to any old thing because we're afraid to say no. When we know that it's not the right decision, we know that it's something that's going to harm us. We know that it's something dangerous. We know that it's something that's going to cost us a relationship. We know that it's something that's going to cost us our spiritual journey or our mindset. We know it. And yet, because of that peer pressure or because of that fear of saying no, we do it anyway. So that's what I wanted to remind everyone of today, that we have to say no. Just say no. No is not a bad word. So just recapping my points here. No is a complete sentence. No explanation needed. Free yourself from all the explanations and excuses and coming up with all kind of stuff why you got to tell people no. Just say no. Just say no. It is okay. And then my second point was, if no is the answer, it doesn't matter who's asking. It doesn't matter if it's your boss. It doesn't matter if it's the pastor. It doesn't matter if it's grandma and them. It doesn't matter. If no is your answer, then stick to your guns and say no. Stick to your guns and say no. And then the last point is to say no to anything that's dangerous to your mental, physical, or emotional health. We got to say no. We can't let that peer pressure. We can't let that peer pressure, cause us to go down the wrong path. We can't. Then another comment, some things we can avoid when we learn to say no. That is so true. We can avoid a whole heap a lot of. Damn, I'm country now, y'all. I'm letting my country come out. You can avoid a whole heap a lot of trouble when you just say no. Just say no, y'all. I know this was a different message. Normally we're saying just say yes. We're saying just do it, just this, just that. But I'm here to tell you, just say no. Just say no. Just say no. If it's something that is not in your capacity to do, or if it's something that's going to hinder you or hinder what you have going on, or if it's something that's dangerous, just say no. And don't come up with a bunch of excuses. No is the answer. That's it. You don't need to explain yourself and then end up getting talked out of it. Because once you start explaining yourself and then someone counteracts what you're saying, then you start second guessing saying no. And then you start saying, well, maybe I can do it. Okay. And you end up saying yes to something that you really wanted to say no to. Stop that, y'all. Stop the foolishness. Just say no. Okay. So I hope that you all enjoyed this message. I do want to read a little affirmation from the book, Speak Life Moments, A Transformational Journey. And it is from day 5, which is the Creating Boundaries Day. And so this affirmation, I want you to think about and hold on to when you're thinking about whether you should say no to somebody. Okay. Because saying no is one way that we can create boundaries. Okay. And it says, I am a child of God, and I will surround myself with relationships that uplift and edify me. I have the power to set boundaries and show people how to treat me. I will no longer accept less than my worth. Okay. So for this month, creating boundaries is our theme for the month of July. And so every message, I'm going to read this affirmation and remind us that that's what we're learning this month, that we are setting boundaries. And so saying no is a great way to set boundaries. So reading that part of the affirmation again, it says, I have the power to set boundaries and show people how to treat me. By saying no when you mean no, lets people know how they should treat you. Okay. And if you want to know more, and more about creating boundaries, more about the other lessons that I've learned in my journey of speaking life, then you can purchase this book, Speak Life Moments, A Transformational Journey by Sherry Jones. That's me. You can purchase your copy. I put a link in the description of the video. You can go to my website, sherryspeakslife.com, and purchase an autographed copy, or you can go to Amazon and purchase a copy as well. And then I have a second book called Trouble Don't Last Always. That is a Christian fiction novel. And with that book, it's the story of a young lady. She's based on me. I'll be honest with that. And she's struggling with her faith, but you get to follow her unexpected path back to God. So, so both of those books are available on Amazon. Okay. And you can purchase those. Also, you can get your Speak Life checklist. And so that's something that I created, that it gives you 7 ways that you can speak life and make speaking life a lifestyle. So when I come on here on Monday nights and I share these Speak Life moments with you, it's because I've made speaking life a lifestyle. And it was a long journey to get to this point. I wasn't always speaking life, but I've learned to make it a lifestyle. So if you are interested in that checklist, you can click the link in the description. And as I stated, the checklist gives you 7 ways, and it's printable, so you can put it up wherever you need to be reminded, and it will remind you of 7 ways that you can make speaking life a lifestyle. And again, if you want to know more about speaking life, more about the lessons that I've learned, more about my journey, then purchase your copy of Speak Life Moments, A Transformational Journey. Okay. Now I put up the comment that good reminder for setting boundaries. Thank you. So I'm glad that you appreciated the conversation today and that it was a blessing to you. So thank you each and every one for joining. And let's see, another comment here. Says great check for life. Okay, yes. Evangelist Millie, I know you had signed up and got your checklist, so thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. So she enjoyed the checklist, so you all would enjoy the checklist as well. Please click that link and get that checklist to remind you of how you can make speaking life a lifestyle. Okay, and I will be back here on next Monday for another Speak Life moment. And our topic next Monday, y'all, I gotta remember, what did I say it was? See, that's what you get. Now I can't remember. I know today was saying no. And I can't think, y'all. But the graphic is on the, I did post the graphic of this month's Speak Life moments. And so I think on IG, I didn't get a chance to post it. I thought I posted it and I did not. So I will post that graphic so that you can see this month's topics. But each topic is talking about setting boundaries. I'm sorry. Next week's topic is honesty is still the best policy. Honesty is still the best policy. And then the next week, the topic is remember the golden rule. And then the last week of the month is I can show you better than I can tell you. So y'all look forward to all of those lessons. And all of those lessons are, again, tied to our theme for July, creating boundaries. Okay. So I hope that you all enjoyed this Speak Life Moments, please feel free to share this broadcast, share it with your communities, share it with anyone that you feel would benefit from this conversation regarding creating boundaries, and so that they can learn how to create boundaries in their life, and they can learn how to just say no. Just say no. All right. So you all take care. You all be blessed. I look forward to seeing you live again next Monday. I come on every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I'm Sherry Jones. I'm a best-selling author, inspirational speaker, here with you to teach you all about speaking life. And I truly, truly appreciate you all being here with me this evening. And so you all take care. You all be blessed. I love you, love you, love you so much with the love of Christ. And you may say, Sherry, how you love me? You don't even know me. I don't need to know you to know that you are a child of God and that He created you for greatness. He did. You right there that I'm talking to right now. He created you for greatness. So just walk in it and speak life. You all take care. Love you. Bye bye.